Do you suffer from stress, anxiety, or depression? Do you find it hard to focus or to contain your emotions? Any of these things can take you down. So, what then are your personal health practices? If you don't yet have an integral or holistic wellness practice, you're in the right place. Podcast host Susan Axelrod, the confidence coach, has been practicing holistic wellness for 25 years. Along the way, Qigong and Tai Chi found her. After tiptoeing in, she dove into a committed practice and became a teacher and integral wellness consultant. She'll tell you Qigong and Tai Chi changed her life. In this podcast, she interviews practitioners, inviting them to share their stories about how these practices changed their lives too. Go grab your journal. At the top of a clean page, write down, I want to feel better. Then take a breath and tune in to see if Qigong and Tai Chi can help. Oh, my friends, Qigong and Tai Chi can help. Today's episode on this delightful podcast is going to be a good one, and you're going to see what I mean by how much Qigong and Tai Chi can change your life. My guest today is Dr. Marilyn LoPresti. She is the 80-year-old founder and master instructor of North Fork Bodies in Motion, which demonstrates world-class performance in addressing the fitness needs of the senior population through authentic martial arts and specialized wellness programs that combine ancient traditions with modern geriatric science. LoPresti's 38-year journey as a breast cancer survivor, enduring surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and additional treatments, informs her unique approach to teaching Tai Chi, martial arts, guided meditation, strength training, and low-impact aerobics to students ranging from 60 to 80 plus years old. I'm delighted to report here that Marilyn recently received the 2025 Global Recognition Award for Exceptional Achievement across leadership, service, innovation, and teaching in the health and wellness sector. Hello, my friend Marilyn. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here, Susan, and to share my story with others. This is what I do at North Fork Bodies in Motion. I have devoted my life now and my business to helping others through the experiences that I've had all through life. And it's a real journey. And I'm so happy to have met you through Dr. Roger Yanka's wonderful class. And that class really, for me, reinforced what I have been doing. And it's certified for me that I was on the right path. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I actually have that same experience. Marilyn's referring to a course that we took this year called Medical Qigong. And when I got to know Dr. Roger Yanka and the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi, I had the same experience. It verified a lot of what I was already doing. But one of the things that I think resonates for both of us, as I've gotten to know you a little bit, is how much permission is given to be who you are and as you are. And that's something that I know is a value that you share with your own students. I have really, truly been not just delighted, but honored to get to know you and your work. You and I are going to have another special conversation on a podcast about being 80 and aging well, using Qigong as one of the areas of support. But for today, I want to ask you to share with us, Marilyn, how has Qigong or Tai Chi changed your life?
Well, I'll tell you, it has been a journey, and it started with what you mentioned earlier when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's quite a long time ago. It's 38 years, it'll be 39 coming up in the new year. But, I'm called a survivor, but basically, when you are diagnosed and go through all the treatments and surgeries, you're always a patient. So every 6 months, I see my doctors and everything's checked up, and so far so good. And it's been a very long, hard journey, as I call it. What happened to me was, and what changed my life originally was my signing up for a self-defense class in my local neighborhood. When I did that, everything changed because what I went on to do was to study. Now, I had a lot of study going on. I was studying at New York University. I was working as at first a teacher, then a chairperson, then an administrator in public schools. And I went on, and when I retired later on, I got to assistant superintendent level. And so I was able to see the whole spectrum with a pre-K through 12 teaching license. And so I think that has helped me in what I do today, not only in the teaching experience, but in the study of administration with a specialty in organizational climate. So that
Mm.
climate, all that transfers into what I do today in the classroom. When I studied the martial arts, I started on that journey to go to a black belt. And the breast cancer diagnosis got in the way.
Ah.
It stalled everything. I couldn't get to classes, but I was determined after each treatment that I had to do that I was going to go back and study. And I did that, and I did it with my sister. I was lucky to have my sister. My daughter also is a kung fu martial artist, and my sister and I studied all the way through. What I think changed me and opened my eyes to Tai Chi and Qigong was our historic visit to the Shaolin Temple. Our
Mm.
pastor invited us to not only accompany him on the trip as he was ambassador to the Shaolin Temple from the United States, Grandmaster Stephen Damasco, but he told us, oh, we're not just going on a trip. You and your sister Joan are going to perform for the Grand Abbot. So I said, perform? Yes, he said, pick a style of the Kung Fu that you think would be good to do. So we picked the crane, and we practiced and we studied that. And off we went to China. My husband accompanied us also. And although we were tourists in a sense, we were treated like royalty from the United
Mm.
States. And we had to practice every morning. It wasn't just touring and seeing the terracotta warriors and the Great Wall, but at 6 o'clock in the morning before breakfast, we were out in the street or in the park with the people, the Chinese people who do that every morning. And we did our practice, and then we went on with our day. Being at the Shaolin Temple opened my eyes to Tai Chi and Qigong, but actually seeing the monks doing their daily practice. It was magnificent, and we even had a chance to study with them, although they did not speak English. It was a wonderful experience, and as I said, that was a turning point for me because I realized that all the experiences I had in the martial arts, if I had to do over, I would have studied Tai Chi first,
Mm.
Kung, because all of them are under the same umbrella. And the Kung Fu means a way of life, and that's really what this is all about. So on and going back again to all of the surgeries that I had, some of them were surgeries linked to the original surgery I had. It was, I'll never forget one incident when I was being rolled into the operating room, and my surgeon said to me, "Your blood pressure is too high. We can't bring you into and it was for a mastectomy. So, of course, my blood pressure was through the roof. I was so scared. So, what I did changed everything. I did my breathing techniques, which we teach in Qigong and, of course, in Tai Chi. And that changed everything. He asked me, "What did you do?" He said, in a matter of 5 minutes, you brought down your blood pressure, you're going into the operating room. I said, don't keep saying that because it'll go back up again,
Yeah.
saying the operating room. But anyway, so I use those techniques. I use them today. Going from there and fast forward, while I was assistant superintendent of schools, and I really wasn't ready to retire yet, but unfortunately, my mother became ill, and passed away. Then my father, and so it was a very traumatic time. But what happened to me 12 years ago was my husband passed away. He had been ill for a couple of years. So that was a big turning point for me. And now I was going to grab everything that I had learned and start over. I had to start over. I had to battle depression. I had to, battle grief, which makes me tear up even now.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I decided I had to do something, and the best thing I found for me was not just to keep all the study and the practice and the learning, but to share it with others, and that is the key. So I formed my company, Northfork Bodies in Motion, and I went out to all the places that I could. I went to the library, town recreation centers, every place that would have me. And I said, I'd like to teach some Tai Chi and Qigong here. And that was 13, that was actually 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I celebrated 10 years in my company. And
Right.
I was greeted with what I was surprised to find people say, well, we don't really teach Tai Chi here. We teach yoga, or we don't know what Tai Chi is. And they couldn't pronounce Qigong.
Yeah.
So that was my mission. And so, as you know from what has happened to me since, is that became a very successful venture. And then I realized, because I was on a chemo drug for 10 years, and I could not teach late afternoon or evening. I'd be too tired. So all my classes are in the morning. And of course, doing that and being a senior myself, I drew senior participants, many of whom have been with me for 10 years.
Wow.
What I did was I developed a fitness program, an all-around program that included low impact aerobics to get people moving. And yesterday I met a gentleman, as I was telling you earlier, in the library that helped me with my YouTube channel, Make It Live. He said, oh, I like this low impact aerobics. He said, what are you going to call it? I said, well, it's low impact aerobics. And then we looked at each other. He said, it's low impact, but has a high impact on your life. And I thought that was
Oh.
a beautiful thing to say.
Mm.
I said, I'm putting that on my channel. I told him. I said, that's wonderful. So, so the students have that. They have Tai Chi and Qigong, and they also have strength training with weights. But the unique thing that I do is that Tai Chi and Qigong are incorporated in all of my classes.
Yeah.
So I start class with a warm up with Qigong, whether it's low impact aerobics or it's working with weights. And at the end of every single class, we do Qigong. And
Mm.
I taught the students the breathing techniques, and I've taught them the applications even that I understand as part of Tai Chi, which is a martial art. But the
Right.
benefits are more than self-defense. They're it's so wonderful to see students build their self-confidence that have never been in front of a group. And then now they're performing a Tai Chi form. And I also have taught them a little bit of the martial arts fan, where they have something in their hand. So there's coordination. But you know what I love about the classes is the overall joy that Tai Chi and Qi Kong brings the students. So it's all by word of mouth. And they tell people they're enjoying the class. everyone comes in smiling and speaking to one another. Sometimes I can't stop them from talking. I said, we have to.
Talking, right. You've created community there. I really just want to, just stop for a moment and really hit on something that's you've really spoken out that's underlying the energy of qigong. I know a lot of people can't pronounce it, they don't know what it is, etc. But when you said if I had to do it all over again, I would start with qigong and tai chi, this really is why I created this podcast. This is what we're speaking out here. This is what we want to share with others. You said I had to battle depression and grief. You got emotional. I know what that feels
It's
like.
easy for me
And
to do.
I know. And then you said to deal with all of this, I decided to share what I learned. And also, another thing that we're learning from you here today, and you just said it, the all around fitness program includes strength training with weights, etc., and that you have integrated and incorporated Qigong and Tai Chi in everything that you do. Of course, as practitioners, we know it is a way of being. And that's really what you've spoken out here. Now, before I let you go, I do want to just say you have a newer endeavor to be working personally and individually with people in the area of aging well or healthy aging. And I wanted to give you an opportunity for a minute or two to speak about what you're doing there.
Thank you very much, Susan. This is a new endeavor and one that you inspired me to do. And I realize that many of my students in class are younger than I am. And they ask the same question over and over. How is it that you're able to do all of these things and stay so active? And I told them that it's about aging well. And they'd start laughing. And they said, what do you mean aging well? I said, you have to start at a younger age to really understand where your life is going. So one of the illustrations there was it came to me that I had to show them through the demonstrations that we did. We do demonstrations once in a while in the community. I have I call them a demo team. They wear my logo shirt with the yin yang symbol on it and the dragon and all in the back. And we, unfortunately, we haven't been back to it since COVID because there are stringent rules in the rehab and nursing centers now.
Right.
But we had a wonderful team, and then we went in, and people loved us so much. I think they thought we were the Rockettes, though. We had music. I do a lot of things with music, as you know. And they said, we want them back every week. So we couldn't go back every week, but we went every month. The people's faces lit up. I taught them Tai Chi moves that they could do sitting, and they just loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
What we realized was the people sitting there in wheelchairs and all were the same age as we were.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that really hit home, and
Yeah.
people understood that they're, by the grace of God, go I. So, that's a really important thing. So there's a
Yeah.
lot to it, and it's more than just fitness and exercise and all of that I've incorporated into my program, but it's also attitude and it's community, it's being with people and helping other people. So the people in my class, if someone loses a family member, they're there for them. If someone, when there were hurricanes down south, we had one of the ladies who was a new student come in and say, my daughter lost everything. Well, the next day, so much came in that they had to do like 4 card loads and a truck to get all
Oh,
of this to her so that her family could truck it down to North Carolina.
And regarding the work that you'll be doing personally with
Yes,
people, it sounds like you'll be really kind of edifying. You'll be working personally with individuals. Basically, what I'm hearing is to understand what we say in Qigong, your energy is in your control. And you just said you used the attitude is a big thing. And so in your personal and individual work with someone in a coaching relationship,
yes,
you'll be really working to help them understand this and then also integrate this personally. Is that the way you envision it?
yes, yes. I'd like to get to know them and hear about their lifestyle and what they're doing and share some of my experiences because not everybody has the same interests that I would have, but help them to understand that life deals you different blows, but you have to just keep going. You have to pick yourself up and do what you can. I know, as an example, for instance, this past summer, I fractured one of my toes walking barefoot. Don't do it. So I've done it before, but now I had to teach my classes. So I came in with a sock and a sandal. But I couldn't get any shoe on. So the class looked at me and said, "What are you doing here with your foot?" I said, "Well, I fractured a toe." And they said, "But why aren't you home putting ice and resting?" I said, "I have to teach class." So, the story there is I find as people get older, any little injury or if they're not feeling well, they kind of give up for the day and decide that they're going to sit on a recliner like I am on now,
Yeah.
and just give up rather than go forward and deal with it. Because, as you do know, every day a little pain comes along, something happens, but that doesn't mean you stop everything.
Yeah,
So,
I really love this. Also, working in a coaching or consulting capacity with an individual over a period of time, 4 months, 6 months, whatever it will be. Um, if they get to work with you, you're the real deal. This is why I'm so intrigued by this. We're going to be continuing this conversation, but if they get to work with you, then when they get that injury or when they get that pain and they say, I feel tired or I just want to sit here, then you'll be helping them to understand the effect that would have on them versus do we want to, go out and do you want to go out and take a walk first and then come back in? These strategies, tips, tools from what they see in you. You said the people. Gosh, I mean, Marilyn, when you said that just now, we realized the people in the facility, in the wheelchairs or home chairs or whatever, were the same age as we were. That really hit home. And that really showed.
it is, and one of the important things is referring back to Qigong, is to use the energy that we have. We're all made up of energy, and as a community, that energy really is shared between everyone. And so, one of the things I left out that I do at least once a month is I have a special Qigong meditation session. And so the people from classes come, and I have people who are not in my classes that have problems, that feel that they're getting so much of a benefit from being with us for that hour. And it's opening the door, I call it, to the medicine within as we learn from our class. So, my latest little post in the story on Facebook is to come to the session and open the medicine within. Uh,
Mm,
so that's what we all have. And that healing comes from inside of us. It's not from outside forces or outside medicines or practices. So I think it's a wonderful mission. It makes me very happy to not only be here and talk about this. And I usually don't have an opportunity to do that. I just do the practice. But this is very important to get the message out. And I appreciate
right.
that.
Yeah, right. And gosh, getting in charge of my own energy, using the energy to support my well being and learning what they call the elixir, learning that you're being in charge of your energy is not like a medicine. It is medicinal.
Yes.
It is medicinal. And that's what you've really kind of shared. My gosh, you're a 38-year breast cancer survivor. I mean, you were doing classes while you were taking chemo drugs, and you were showing up, and, even on your journey, and, you lost your husband, you're showing up, all the things, not in the overachieving, but in the commitment to basically what was given to you, this divine path that you're on. And I know it's divine because look at you.
So one of the things that I really believe that Tai Chi and Qigong really mean is survival. That's really been like my mantra all through. It's even stitched on my belt, on my black belt, was put on there, survivor. And that's what it is, really.
Wow, I get that. I, of course, have had my own grief journey. And so I've experienced this myself. And I, without a doubt, say I know that Qigong helped me survive a difficult grief, loss, and trauma, and so on and so forth. Oh my gosh, this is so great. I'm really looking forward to our next conversation. But I just want to ask you, how can people find you, Marilyn?
Well, I think the easiest way and the simplest way is at my website, northforkbodiesinmotion.com. And there's a way to contact me on there. And I answer every contact. And I'd be glad, I'm looking forward to working one-on-one or even small group. If anyone is kind of shy of just doing one-on-one, if they want to have a little circle of their own, I will be glad to work with them. I've also done the Qigong meditation online, and that was very popular too. That is very popular, although the people really enjoy being in person, especially since they know the people in the room. But the
Right,
way is just as effective, and so I'm happy
right.
to do that.
I love the idea. We want to invite people to who are listening and tuning in here to realize you might have a sister friend or a brother, or you might have a spouse or a partner, or you might have, your small group where you do engage in this conversation. It's virtual, it's easy. I've been getting to know Marilyn myself. We haven't met yet, although I want to come out to Long Island and meet you. But I really want to help people who are watching us or listening to us understand this is the real deal. And I want to invite and encourage people to contact you and learn the tips, tools, strategies, techniques from you so that they can be healed, they can be inspired, and they can share it out further. So, Marilyn, thank you so much for your time today. I will stay tuned to this story, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.